approach the two stormtroopers standing at the door, and obviously you would order them to open it, and they just reach over and the door opens, and you see this Zoltron sitting here on your hardened black concrete pourstone bed. And you see these three figures come walking down the stairs and spread out before you.
Oh, I suppose you're the welcoming party?
I guess you could say that.
Danton raises an eyebrow. Yes, I suppose you could say we're the welcoming party. We're going to get under your skin and find the truth beneath it. What do you want to know?
Everything, starting from Kashyyyk.
That's easy to remember. It was the first time I heard her lovely voice.
I just whistle, and a little interrogation droid flies up to him. I don't care about stuff like that. I just want to know exactly what happened from the minute you got there.
He looks at the interrogation droid, looks to the three of you, and Heraldo's just like, he raises his hands, he says, "Look, I've got nothing to hide. It was exactly as I said. The bomb went off. My friends were disintegrated. And we... Can it not be so close to me?"
Look, Mr. Heraldo, the interrogation droid's the nice option. You might have to go through my friend here, and I gesture towards Minky's character.
I'll step forward. He doesn't do anything menacing, but he just says to you, "I'm the Coruscant of the diplomatic service. If you know House Imperials, we know how to make people talk. It's wise for you to tell us everything."
Well, all right. We came to Kashyyyk because we picked up a particularly scruffy-looking Wookiee in Mos Shuta. He wanted to be returned to Kashyyyk, and he offered a decent amount of credits, and we were desperate.
Harboring enemies of the Empire.
I mean, he was a free Wookiee in Mos Shuta.
No such thing as a free Wookiee.
Oh, well, pardon me. At this point, Danton just scuffs. He's twirling this little glowing stick of chemicals around his finger. He's becoming more pathetic as time goes on. Well, how rude.
Can I do like a perception check to see if you act? Wow, really?
Wow.
No one can touch this character.
I'll say I think there's something off. You're pretending about something, but I can't know if you're pretending to be pathetic or what.
It's like you get the sense that he's pathetic, but as he squirms there, you notice how fucking buff he is. Like he shouldn't be like as scared as he is. Heraldo just he squirms a bit, but
so at the moment I'm just kind of observing you, watching how you move, trying to get pick up a read on it.
See, we've been following you guys for quite a while, and we've noticed you're a few guys short. What happened?
Well, I mean, that just has to do with birth, you know? Some people grow tall, some people grow short, unless you were talking about something else, huh? Otherwise,
and then I just fucking nod down to the interrogation droid.
Oh, whoa, I'm just asking for specifics.
God. I'm just gonna cold cock him with a pistol.
He'll take it.
So that's a brawl check, and unless you're just going to
Nope.
narratively do it.
Narrative. Yep, he'll take
Yeah,
it.
I'll just narratively. do
Now
it.
I'm
Just
gonna.
fucking smack him with it.
Now he's gonna do a perception check because like you're acting pathetic, and then he just takes a hit from a officer. So he's like, yeah, there's something different going on. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Wow.
He crumbles. Geraldo just turns on his side. No, please. I don't hit me again.
That's like what, five advantage, right?
I'll tell you what you want to know. Danton just he stands there in the corner, lets you guys work. He's got a smirk on his face. I love my job. And your job, you're doing fantastic. This should
All
be
right.
over quickly.
I just want to know what happened to the rest of the party.
The explosion went off, and it killed them. It killed 2 of them. Borden, he was so promising. He said he could play.
Then you know that's not what we're talking about. What happened to the what's his name? The Krell. What happened to him?
Krell, I asked Miles. I asked him if he saw him. We were split up around the village during the battle. I can only assume. Krell, he was so dear to me. He was one of the first
I
I
step
acquired.
straight forward as soon as you say that, and there's no proof that you liked Krell. We have a report here that you pushed his face into a fire for relatively no reason. Why would you care if he's gone?
Well, I... Go ahead, do another perception check. Jesus. Oh wait, nope, that's a success. You notice, like, as he's acting pathetic, his eyes are kind of darting about as though he's looking for something smart to say.
Alright, I'll step forward and be aggressive, and I'll kind of grab you by your like kind of shoulder, and I'll say, if you don't drop the act right now, I'll just start it with your true interrogation.
Ooh. Well,
I'll motion the droid across then, and could I do a coercion roll?
Yep.
Oh.
all right, what are you
I've got
doing?
a triumph. Well, I'm just coercing you at this point. I'm just threatening you with the fact that the droid's here
He's
to
got
try and get
4
you to tell
success
the
and
truth.
advantage with a triumph.
Yeah, so
Best start talking.
So Geraldo, he goes very still. He glances between the 3 of you, and he's dropped the act. He's not sniveling. He's very. It's almost like he's gone very dull, very flat, and he just stares you down.
the Karas
What
at
do you
this
want
point,
to know?
The Karas kind of smiles. Finally, we're through to the real person we were trying to talk to.
Okay, I want to just interject for 1 sec. There would be, let's say the interrogation took place the next day. Let's give a little bit of timeline here.
Yeah.
Okay. At this point here, the door goes doot. That you guys are to open the door.
Danton walks over and flips it.
Okay. Door opens up, and you see a new character standing here, looking with his glowing eyes that glow blue. This person here is supposed to report to give further information that's relevant to the interrogation.
Well, come in.
Well, yeah.
So you guys see, Geraldo sees Riker standing there with glowing blue eyes, cybernetic implants, and is now there to help with any facts that are relevant to this interrogation.
Riker, my friend! I told you they had the best medical technology. The 3 in the room would note that flat affect disappeared in an instant.
I was going to say drop the act. I thought we had got through to you.
Yeah, so
This will go easier if you talk to us now.
the triumph is going to lie in Riker's hands.
As the door would open, I probably turn, just look backwards at you. So-
You brought me to the party now, did you?
My pants aren't off yet, so it's not a party.
Charming
As you
as
say
ever.
that, I'll kind of just not slap you to hit you just to get your attention and be like, drop the act. We know you're not like this.
What act? Turns his head, spits a bit of blood. I'm Captain Heraldo. This is who I always am.
I find if you won't talk, I guess I'll have to cause some pain. People always talk triple truth with pain.
No,
Right.
that won't be necessary.
Oh,
I was willing to be honest.
right. Would Riker notice the tone from the bonfire?
Yep.
Alright. Riker just kind of narrows his eyes.
Why is he here, free, and I am not?
Because he didn't run his mouth.
Yes, but I believe your captain enjoyed it. I know I certainly did.
And yet, even when we capture you and have you in interrogation, you still don't know when to shut up.
The Karas kind of smirks at this. He's obviously a strong person, and he kind of admires the fact that he's standing up like this.
I'll tell you all one thing. One learns to get used to pain when you're a slave for the Black Sun.
Well, then it should be no problem to you then.
It isn't, although I would like to say that pain is not the correct reward for honesty.
Okay, well, you come honest with us, we'll let you go.
I have been honest with you. Everything that I have thus far told you has been the truth. We took the Wookiee to Kashyyyk. The Marshal got in a fight with Krell. We tried to separate them. We learned there was a tracking device. We tried to disable it. My droid shot the device, and the bomb ignited.
Okay, all this talk about this Krell guy, I don't see him here, do I?
I don't see him here either.
What happened to him?
I do not know. Ask Miles. He
Doesn't know.
was in the village. I was dealing with the ships, attempting to disable them. We all split up to do our separate duties around the village.
The Karas is looking through a data pad, and he's basically corroborating everything you're saying with what is on Imperial record. So he's starting to trust you a bit more. Well, not trust, but
I look over to Riker, I'm like, alright, here's your chance, Geraldo. Is everything that this man says is true?
Herald Riker?
Yeah, he wants to know if everything Geraldo's saying is true.
We got down on the planet, did away with our dead, kind of stumbled around a bit. It's hard to see with it was hard to see, I should say. You're asking particularly about Krell?
Everything Geraldo has said up to this point, do you know it to be true?
Riker.
Geraldo suddenly speaks up. Riker, need I remind you that the reason that your eyes were ruined in the first place is because they put the bomb on our ship.
Riker's jaw clenches and he kind of stares at the man in front of him a bit more. And he says, well, I hate speaking for other people, but kind of zoomed out for a bit, kind of worried about all this interrogation stuff. You aren't by chance going to put me in any of these, or in Heraldo's place anytime soon, are you?
Well, don't
We
worry,
wouldn't
you're
have
not the one
given you-
being interrogated here.
Yeah, I'll kind of point to his eyes with my knife as well. Like, we wouldn't have given you those nice, pretty new eyes if we were going to interrogate you straight after.
You all seem... The ones we left out of interrogation are the ones we deemed particularly sane. You guys didn't have Wookiee pelts on your backs, did you?
That's a very good observation. I agree. Yeah.
We got reports that they skinned him alive and left his body on the floor. Of course, that was definitely cause for concern.
Suddenly, Danton pipes up. Why is that cause for concern exactly?
Well,
Yeah, I kind of
Even-
look in agreement with that. I'm like,
well,
Cause for concern for me, maybe.
well, I even though we have deemed Wookiees non-sentient, the fact that he skinned one in the middle of a ship while under arrest isn't something a normal person would do.
That's true, but I still see no problem with it. It's his
Oh, I'm
ship,
not
it's his
questioning the
prerogative.
morals of it. It's just that we are questioning the man's sanity. He seems to... His screws loose.
I don't care someone's sanity. As long as they can be used as a weapon, I don't mind.
I don't have a problem with Heraldo. Seems honest to me.
If I don't
Well,
remember its name.
Yeah, you did corroborate this story pretty much, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll just turn around and it'll be for the captain to decide what happens with him now. However, we could put him to use, but he would be a wild card.
Maybe that's what we need, though.
I suppose that I should have an honest conversation with your captain then. If I would be allowed to meet with her personally, we can settle this. I have an idea of how this could work out amicably.
After what we've learned about you, I highly doubt we shall allow a personal.
I'll tell you what, we can meet in the middle. We could bring her down here with all of us in the room.
Yes, I would agree to that. So long as we have... And you note that he said, so long as we. He's notably referencing himself. So long as we have the chance to speak to her.
Guess we'll bring you to her then.
Okay, so you guys are all assembled in this room. You're brought in and placed in a chair, gruffly by the stormtroopers. Sit down, have a seat. And they make their way back to the corner and stand there, guard positions.
Of course, be as rough as you wish.
Riker comes into the room, and you guys are left waiting for a bit. And after some time, the door opens, and in comes Jen herself, along with her protocol droid. And she comes forward and takes a seat at the head of the table here, the droid standing beside her. So, Captain Heraldo, I believe you wanted a personal meeting with me.
Yes, I told these gentlemen that you were the only real way to get me as honest as they wish.
I'm tired of your games. Your charmingness and your ways about you are wasted. I have a busy schedule. I have a lot to do. So please, come to the point.
Well, I do appreciate that you admit that I can be charming when I wish to be. However, I will say that, again, we can come to a mutual agreement. We will handle this task that you wish for us to complete. And if we do so successfully, if you were to, say, transfer the late Borden's marshal status to myself.
You can see she kind of smirks to herself for a moment, and smiles and looks looks left and right towards the rest of the officers as if she's expecting a response of how foolish this guy, what his request is.
Oh. Yeah, I grin. I'm like, no.
You see the Karis kind of like think it over, and a newly appointed marshal could be supervising him for the period of for some period in his new mission. We could make sure he complies with imperial law.
You can't just transfer marshal status.
I can give marshal status if needs be. It's whether or not the creature is going to be capable of fulfilling the duties of that status.
I point across the table to Riker. I'm like, well, if anything, he's the level-headed one in the group. He should be the marshal.
She looks over towards Riker. The medical facility has done you well. Are your eyes working well?
Indeed they are. It's good to see such clarity again.
You still feel that you're capable and willing to work for the Empire?
Always.
He
Very
may
well.
be capable and willing, but he is not capable of the ruthless efficiency that your needs require.
Are you sure about that?
Are
You'd say in
you
kind
sure
of a joke tone towards Heraldo.
that you're willing to do what the Empire might require you to do? Could you perhaps say, burn down a village of seemingly innocent dissidents at their request, at the drop of a hat?
Or at whatever the reward takes. In this case, it's my eyes.
And Heraldo stares at him, and he's keeping up this very flat affect, and I'm going to do a coercion check. Really? You'd be
Wait, who are you
willing
doing
to
the check
stand
on?
by? He's doing this to Riker. He's just standing there. He's just sitting there staring at him, very flat. He's like, really? You're willing to sit by and listen to their screams? The women being cut down by blaster bolts, the children butchered before your eyes at the drop of a hat. You're willing to let that slide. You're willing to let it all go.
Riker would kind of look over towards the officers as if
With
second
your
guessing the
bare
words he was about to
hands.
say, and just be like, "Nah, I'm not admitting to anything, but I've had my fair share of dirty work."
Fine.
I would also want Riker to say, you know, if you don't trust me to do the job, what about Miles?
Okay, so what was the intimidation roll? I need to govern that.
It was one success, one advantage.
You're attempting to say what to Riker at this point?
He's saying, like, you know, burning down of villages and the screams and standing by as they're killed. And I mean,
Okay, so as you're saying this, the door opens and Miles comes in with his new officerial garb on, catches Heraldo off guard here. And Miles, you would see all this, and you know of Heraldo's styles, if you were, his approach to things. So, do you wish to comment as you're coming in on this?
I wouldn't. I would just, as I'd approach, I'd do of course, I'd salute the captain, and then, like, sort of stomp my foot. And then if I caught Heraldo's gaze, I would just sort of smile at him for about 3 seconds, and then focus all my attention towards the captain.
Okay, so the captain stops and she looks towards Heraldo, and she looks to Riker, and then she looks to Miles. Lieutenant Miles, do you agree with the statement that Heraldo is saying about Mr. Riker here?
I have not heard.
Sticking with Heraldo.
And I'd look over towards Riker. What statement?
Okay, so Heraldo, give me the generalization of what you were saying to Riker so that Miles can reply.
He was describing. He was basically saying, asking if Riker was capable of carrying out a massacre at the drop of a hat.
I would shrug. I don't think I've ever spoken with this man at all. I don't know anything about him. And I have no idea of his qualifications or...
I would speak up as you say this, and as you do not know about Rikers, how would you think How would you rate Heraldo's
Unstable.
ruthlessness?
Immediately out of my mouth. Unstable.
Unstable. And
No self-control.
So the captain looks towards everybody, and she goes, I feel that this man is unstable, and yet I still feel that, given the proper governing, that there is still use for him. Perhaps we need somebody that is out there, if you will, almost crazy. He will blend well. Captain Heraldo, I'm willing to give you a second chance. I think I'm going to drop the captain thing, because I honestly don't see what you're captaining here at all. But I do feel that you do have a point still, and there's a place for you.
At this point, when the captain's like, I can see that she's starting to lean towards Geraldo. I'm like, so you're telling me, out of an Imperial hero, a mercenary with a laundry list of accomplishments, and an unstable male stripper, you choose the stripper?
I did not say that I'm going to put him in any sort of command position, but we do need a front mask.
Geraldo would suddenly pipe up and look her right in the eyes and say, why, yes, I'd love for you to teach me the proper procedures.
You see the captain there. She leans back in her chair and she raises her finger up to her chin, and she cocks her head to one side, crosses her leg. Well then, Mr. Geraldo, I believe that there is still position for you. We'll get you cleaned up, get you a proper uniform.
Geraldo suddenly pipes up. But really, were there actual women and children smuggled on my ship?
She said, yes, in fact there were.
Damn. That's all I have to say. Just damn.
Okay, so you guys would have to go back and forth to your rooms and stuff, and you had been assigned. So you begin to make friends in amongst, in the couple days that follow here, amongst the other Imperial officers, begin to mingle, and minor things come along, and you go for your physicals and stuff, and you come across the infirmary here, and you see WD-40, and he's there. He has a fresh coat of black paint on him, and he is working away as a medical droid, helping to process the officers.
Geraldo immediately walks up. Excuse me, droid.
No.
Hello, Marshal Heraldo. What do you require?
We have a number of Imperials traveling with us. We need your assistance in our incoming mission.
Something appears to be wrong. You'll then do like a medical check on you. You'll do like a full check. And
it's
then,
nothing physical. It's just my heart. It's broken.
Your heart appears to be functioning normal.
Only physically.
He kind of like turns his head, in the way like a dog does when it's strange. He has a strange noise. Just like what, and then it kind of continues on with its work.
Oh, Geraldo drops to his knees in the medical bay. Immediately shouts out at the top of his lungs, "No!" He's just screaming, "No!"
The droid will inject him with an anesthetic.
Yeah. Oh.
The rest of the people are obviously alerted to this, and they come rushing forward. Do you have this under control, droid?
It is all under control now. As he just like points to Geraldo unconscious on the floor.
Very well then. Carry on. Okay, so after a couple of days, another meeting has been called back to the council chambers, and everyone there is present. I welcome you to this meeting, and I wish to proceed now that we are going to discuss the approach that we're going to have here. My information that I've received so far from our scanning crew that has tracked the ship that had left earlier about a week ago, We believe that the ship was heading towards Mustafar. The Fallen do have a small hand in the ore and tradings, and they do have a small facility set up on Mustafar.
I vote we go straight to Mustafar and find out what we can.
If that is the most reliable course, I agree.
It's what we have.
You said that the ship then also went to Falleen afterwards.
We tracked it on its way towards Mustafar. We know that the ship was a known bounty hunter that works for the Fallen. Perhaps your friend Crow has been captured by this bounty hunter.
We will make our way to Mustafar then.
But I do propose the question of how do you wish to travel? Will you take your freighter under the guise of the spooky bunch and everything that goes with this? Or will you take an Imperial ship?
That depends. Can the Imperial ship move faster than my Night Sister?
I'm pretty sure she's capable, but I do feel that the element of keeping the Imperial presence out of this would be to our advantage.
I would turn to the captain and say, if you're asking me to take off my Imperial uniform, I won't do it. My life is with the Imperial Navy. I will hide my guys in his ship, but I won't not wear my uniform. It brings me honor. And
I understand you're a proud and noble man, but you must understand that if we have to complete this mission, will you disguise yourself in some manner that you will not be immediately obvious as an Imperial officer?
I have a set of nobleman's attire. He looks like the type that would fit into them.
he says he's not happy about it, but he kind of nods.
I agree, we keep the element of surprise.
I think it would be in our best interest. Miles, do you wish to join in this entourage? Or do you wish to remain aboard the Excelsior and take up position here?
Miles is just sitting there and he's thinking to himself, and he says, I would appreciate going. I feel it's best that I travel.
You've been very helpful in the past. I feel that it would be prudent that you do join this mission. And Riker, are you going to join this?
Wherever the credits lie.
Well, I'm sure there will be credits involved either way. But what would you do otherwise? Go find some job on Tatooine, perhaps?
I'd prefer to do this as a man.
Very well then. So we shall have everyone join back on the Night Sister under the guise of the Spooky Bunch and continue on, shall we? It's agreed.
Agreed.
Make your way to Mustafar and figure out how you're going to land on the Falleen mining facility. Gather this information of the plans of Prince Zero's plan to attack the Empire and report back anything that you find. Is this understood?
Yes, ma'am. Salute.
Yes, Captain. And a salute.
Very well then. Meeting adjourned. And
All right.
farewell.